Hi, everyone, and welcome to my series on career development and how you can build an exciting, enduring, challenging, and impactful career in education. For many years, I've heard the same information about career paths for TESL graduates. This has primarily included teaching for LINC, ESL programs in school boards, or English for academic purposes in colleges and universities. However, over my 23 years in education, I have found tremendous opportunities in different fields that may appear to sit on the fringes of teaching, opportunities that you may not have even considered. What I hope to do through these videos is to show you alternative paths where you can flex your teaching, evaluation, facilitation, and content development muscles in careers that need education specialists like you. This couldn't be more true than right now, as the pandemic has shifted so many employee and employer priorities and has given job seekers the power to make decisions on how to build and grow their career that may not have existed only 2 or 3 short years ago. The great resignation is real. It is happening, and it is the perfect time for you to passionately, assertively, and confidently find the career of your dreams. But to be successful, you need to become a competitive candidate who stands out from the 10, 50, 100 other applicants all vying for these incredible opportunities. But how exactly can you do that? The answer is simple. The first step is by telling your incredible story through an ePortfolio. Before we jump into our presentation, I'd like to remind you of the old adage, a picture is worth more than 1,000 words. What this means to me is that to find career success, especially now as we have made the transition to fully virtual, fully online modalities, this requires you to do a lot more showing than telling. As someone who has looked through her fair share of resumes and cover letters, I can tell you that the candidates who welcome me to go through a journey of their career story through an ePortfolio are those who quickly pique my interest and keep me engaged. Please don't get me wrong. Resumes and cover letters still remain crucial components of job search. However, because of this pivot to online and hybrid instruction, employers need educators who are multi-purpose, those who can facilitate, create content, evaluate, coach, assess, and engage stakeholders from inception to delivery. Of course, I can tell an employer how skilled I am on a two-dimensional resume, but I can also show them the breadth of my skills through an ePortfolio that ticks so many boxes that employers are desperately seeking. A great ePortfolio demonstrates so much more than just my skills. It also highlights my complete work history, the types of content I can develop, the modalities I can create content for, the environments I can facilitate in, the teams I can collaborate with internally and externally, my philosophy, values, vision, and objectives, my personality as a prospective colleague, my academic and professional interests, my digital literacy level, my achievements, my full career and academic goals, how others perceive me as a professional, my ability to self-direct, adapt, and articulate these pivots, and finally, my level of confidence and self-efficacy. Therefore, though resume and cover letter are still very important tools for job seekers, the past weeks of active job seeking have shown me that these documents are starting to take a back seat to personal websites, LinkedIn profiles, and professional portfolios that clearly and comprehensively show who you are and what you do. In today's video, we will be discussing the following. What is an ePortfolio? Why do you need it? Where and how can you build it? And what should you include or showcase? We will end the video by looking at a few resources that have helped me in the past in designing, developing, and maintaining my portfolio for the past 3 years. So let's jump into part 1. In part 1, we will discuss what an ePortfolio is. The first thing I want to repeat is that having a good resume and cover letter that align with industry standards is still an essential part of your job search. However, I want you to take a moment and look at this picture. What do you see? What I see is a huge tree coming out of the ground with tens of branches. But what I don't see are the thousands of roots growing deep into the ground, giving this tree life, growth, support, and direction. Imagine this tree as your resume and the roots as your ePortfolio. We can only say so much in 2 pages. However, for those of us with 5, 10, 20 plus years in our fields, what can 2 pages really cover? How can 2 pages clearly show all the highs and lows, successes and challenges, skills and behaviors, and transformations that we've gained through our many years at work? That's the value of a great portfolio. Not only does a well-designed and regularly maintained portfolio tell the roots of your career story, but it also sets you free from the nagging feeling that you just aren't accurately capturing your career in a 2-page resume. By linking your ePortfolio in your resume for added value, it essentially engages your viewer to go on a deep dive with you, while also respecting the conventions around resumes. This in itself is why I value my ePortfolio so much. Not only does it allow me to tell my full story with descriptions about audience, context, and purpose, but it also helps me respect the expectations around resume to keep myself as a competitive candidate who follows or appreciates the time and effort, and yes, stress involved in recruitment and hiring. In essence, my resume is the appetizer that allows my potential employer to decide if they're interested in the main meal by diving into my ePortfolio. Now that we've had a discussion around what a good portfolio can do for us and for our employers, what types of information should we include? For me, some of the information I like to include is all my formal education, degrees, diplomas, and advanced certificates, professional development, including coursework, programs, and online trainings, my work and volunteer history, relevant samples of past work. Yes, relevant. What this means is if you have 2 or 3 vastly different career paths, you should also have 2 or 3 distinctly different portfolios showcasing aligned work that tells your story in that particular field. I also like to include testimonials and recommendations to serve as my social proof for not only how I see myself at work, but how others see me as well. Going forward, I also include things that showcase my personality, like my headshot and education origin story. I try to showcase my facilitation skills, especially through things where I've contributed to webinars where facilitation videos are available for public viewing. In addition, I find my portfolio a great place to highlight my teaching philosophy, my personal and professional values, and guiding principles. And finally, you can include information around areas of interest, past accomplishments, and current and future goals. Although this isn't an exhaustive list, when we move into part 3, I'll have an opportunity to show you around my ePortfolio to give you a better sense of what I've included and why. With that said, let's move into answering the why. In part 2, we will answer the important question of why. Why exactly do you need a portfolio? There are definitely 2 reasons why. First, it forces you to go down the important path of self-reflection. And second, it is now a required component of many jobs. Now let's jump into the first reason. The first reason is, in my opinion, valuable enough to justify putting in the effort. As an educator, we are taught that one of the critical outcomes of learning is to help our learners become self-directed in defining their goals and articulating a path to achieving those goals. With this in mind, it is an important component of any learning and development. And for any person at any stage in their career story, you should be involved in a regular process of reflecting on where you are, where you came from, and where you want to go. Building my portfolio has helped me answer those 3 questions almost instantly by showing me the value I bring, the skills I've developed, and the tools and resources available to me to not only be the best educator possible, but to also find and keep career opportunities that recognize and celebrate my unique skills and experience. In addition, building my profile enabled me to really pinpoint the experiences that made me the happiest, and this has uncovered professional areas I'd like to explore in the future. Finally, and perhaps most importantly, building a profile allowed me to take a step back and proudly reflect on my full career story as an educator. This in itself has instilled in me an incredible amount of pride and confidence that has prepared and protected me for those difficult and often grueling job search periods of applying, interviewing, and onboarding. To repeat why you need a portfolio is because it gives you the opportunity to fully see your career unfold before you. But this is not just the only reason. What are some of the other benefits of having a portfolio? Some of the benefits include a clear description of your active learning or skills development arc over time, how you've been with goals and goal setting in the past, what environments are best for your learning and working activities, how you've collaborated with peers. It also demonstrates your interpersonal skill as well as your digital literacy skills. It shows to you and to others that you are work ready. It allows you moments of self reflection that positively contribute to increased self efficacy. It helps showcase your personality that allow others to see you as a human and thus a good fit for the company and a potential colleague. And it highlights your unique creativity and perspective that only you bring to the table. Now that we've looked at the benefits of an e-portfolio for your career exploration and development, let's look at why you need a portfolio if you plan on engaging in job search. As a career consultant, I often use myself as a job search test kitchen, where I actively test out new concepts or strategies to see what works and what doesn't. For most of 2021 to 2022, all we've been hearing about is the great resignation and how it's a candidate's market. Naturally curious, I decided to test this idea by applying to a variety of jobs in aligned or adjacent fields. By simply having an up to date portfolio, I quickly realized the skills I had, experiences, and passion, and how these aligned with a variety of jobs I had either never heard of or felt underqualified for in the past. Thus, for those of you who are looking to alternatives outside of Link, ESL, and EAP, here are some other career paths for you to investigate. With your background in education and training, you can certainly consider roles as an L&D, learning and development specialist, an L&D consultant, a manager of an L&D team, training and development, organizational development specialist, people management, talent development, culture development, instructional designer, e-learning designer and developer, digital learning specialist, facilitator, learning experience specialist or manager, leadership development, and education consultant, to name a few. However, before you start going out and applying, you must be prepared. Of all the jobs I mentioned, over 90% of them requested links to my social media profiles, notably LinkedIn and Twitter, as well as links to my professional website, portfolio, and any other content that demonstrates my skill set. Although these jobs allowed me to apply without these links, recruiters have explicitly told me that they are looking for education professionals that can confidently work in a variety of modalities. And portfolios are the best demonstration of who can do so without wasting the hiring manager's time to interview someone who may not have the relevant skills or experience. To repeat, many hiring managers are simply ignoring applications that have no visible proof of past or current work abilities. If you are serious about your career, even if you aren't job searching at this time, beginning to build your portfolio is an invaluable investment that can better prepare you for when the time comes to move on to bigger and better things. And when you decide to move on to bigger and better things, having an e-portfolio can save you a lot of time, energy, and stress. What exactly is that old adage? An ounce of prevention is better than a pound of cure. Think about your portfolio as that ounce of prevention. As you continue to update it regularly, the activity becomes habitual, and the time invested to make minor changes not only keeps your portfolio up to date, but it also keeps your career story fresh in your mind. For me, having a comprehensive, up to date portfolio has not only helped me decide on which jobs to apply for, but it has also significantly reduced the time I spend in preparing for my interviews. In addition, I use it regularly when revising and updating my resume, when I have to submit a teaching philosophy, when I need to include references for potential work opportunities, when I decide to apply for further education, and when I need a confidence boosting pat on my back to show myself that I've accomplished a lot and that I would be a great asset to this organization or that school. Again, I believe the ounce of prevention is a much better approach to the pound of cure. For many of us who decide on looking for a new career opportunity, we have many competing obligations that negatively cut into our ability to look for work. Every career consultant I know tells the clients that job searching is a job itself. Yet, for many of us, we try to prepare for that next big career change amidst working full time, raising kids, taking care of pets, trying to stay healthy and active, taking care of aging parents, maintaining homes, finding time for partners and spouses, and so on. Having my portfolio has allowed me to juggle all these responsibilities without shortchanging my job search efforts and interview preparation. Because of my commitment to my portfolio, I can confidently say that I don't feel like I missed out on any career opportunities because of lack of preparation. Before we move into part 3, I wanted to show you what I've been encountering while applying for L&D, training, talent management, and instructional design jobs. Most companies are using third-party recruitment platforms like Workday, and the vast majority are including sections asking for your website, portfolio, social media profiles, and any other digital content that demonstrates not only your skill set, but also your personality and philosophy. Don't miss out on your next great opportunity because you need to leave these sections blank. And definitely don't wait until you start job searching. To be able to show all the roots of your incredible career tree, you need a consistent ounce of prevention.